So another good thing to know how to do is this idea that sometimes we call like parenting, and sometimes we'll refer to as like hinging, right? So sometimes it can be kind of useful to be able to like attach certain objects to other objects as they're moving around on your screen, right? And so for example, if I just I'm going to delete these things out of here and just stick with the video footage I have underneath this. And let's say that I have an object that I'm going to move across the screen like just a circle. I'm going to kind of make that shape there. Go with that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use the move tool here to transform its position, right? So I can start my image off the screen there, hit position, go forward a little while, maybe like here or something like that, and then just let it go. So now it'll zoom across the screen, right? So and so if I have this motion that I like, that I'm wanting it to kind of follow, if I wanted to like attach another thing to that movement, there's a kind of a technique called parenting that can be pretty useful, right? So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to like just using like some recognizable images now, right? Just so we can sort of have some fun with this. So let's say I brought this image into my composition, right? And I've got this dumb cat picture, right? And I just wanted this cat's head to kind of follow this motion. Well, like a couple of ways I could do it. I could go in and like bring in a Photoshop file that's had the background already deleted out of it, right? Like, so for example, this one, background's gone. It just has the thing that I want to use. But if I didn't get around to that, or if it's too hard, one of the things I can do is I can sort of like just take this, and I've already learned some skills from masking, right? So make sure you have your image selected, click on the pen tool, and I'll just do a sloppy job of this, but let's just say for the sake of argument that I did a better job. And I can of course go in and adjust this mask by just adjusting the Bezier curves that are on there, right? And make it look good. So okay, so that's what I want to do now. If I zoom back out and fit this in, now I've got this cat head that that's like that is there, and it's ready to kind of be used, right? And so the whole shape is there. I can click on that and drag it around. And so, but if I wanted this cat's head to like follow the green ball, right, across the screen, well, how would I do that? Because right now I'd have to like go in and hand animate that to make it work. So once I have my mask kind of drawn on there, and I've got my item kind of selected to where I want it to go, then if I wanted my cat head to kind of follow the path of this green ball, right? Again, I could go in here and rename this. That might be a useful thing to do so we know what we're referring to. There you go. So now at the moment I could hand animate that so it could track it along, or I can do what's called parent it. So I can make this green ball kind of the parent, if you will, like the boss of everything, and then I can attach this cat head to the green ball by going over here with this thing that says parent and link. So they have these little pick whips that you can use to like attach things. So if I click here on that and I drop it on there, I can now I've now made the green ball kind of the lead, and that other piece was going to just follow that along, right? So which is great. So now whatever movement I tell the green ball to do, the cat's gonna follow, right? So it's gonna all like it'll do whatever the green ball sort of does, which is really really helpful in a lot of ways. So that is a good thing to kind of know how to do. But then if I wanted to, I could also take this cat and like now I can, let's say I wanted to put the cat's head like on the ball, so it looks like the ball's the cat's body or something like that. There you go. So there it is. So it's following it along, right? And you'll notice that the cat ball here has or the cat head, I'm sorry, has like a little point down here, which is the anchor point. So if I twirl down into this and I keep going in, you'll see that there's an option there for anchor point, right? And I can actually like readjust this so that my cat's kind of head is going to hit right where like the neck, the joint of the neck would be, and I can kind of make like a little hinge for like a puppet, if you will, there. And now if I put this here like that, and I let the cat head, now like that little hinge point is like much closer to where that would be. So this is where the power of all of this kind of comes in handy, is where you can actually um, take your keyframing and like really start messing with it. So if I wanted to, I could do something like rotation, right? And I can click there and I can go a little ways, and I can have the cat's head turn, and then I can go here and have the cat's head turn. You can see that it's turning on the hinge that I made there, right? As it moves along. And so so now it looks like the cat's gonna like kind of be, moving its head while it moves across. So you can see how that parenting and then the hinge is like a super powerful thing that you can use in After Effects. So but the really cool thing about all of this is that you can parent lots and lots of different things to other things. So for example, if I wanted to go in here and let's see, I'll grab this one and drop it in. So let's say I wanted to make it look like this cat had an arm, right? I could do the exact same thing I just did, where I select the layer, I grab this masking tool, and I'll do again a very sloppy mask real quick just to give us the gist of this. There you go. Now the cat's arm is kind of all by itself, and you'll notice if I click and drag that, sorry, if I make sure I have that selected and move it, you'll see that this is the anchor point for that particular arm, right, for that whole image. And so I'm probably going to want to try and move that anchor point over closer to like where it might be a hinge for this cat's body, right? So I can go through the steps I just did, or I can just hold down the Y key. If I hold down the Y key, it lets me move that anchor point, kind of just click and drag it. So Y and click and drag, and now I've got my anchor point there, and I can change the scale of this, make it smaller, right, like this. Okay. And now if I wanted to, because if I do this now, it's not going to actually be stuck to the other thing, right? So I could just parent I can make the arm parented to the green ball. So I can use the pickwick if I want to here, or I can just click here and just select the green ball. So it's going to do the same thing. And now that, that arm is going to follow that ball along the way, and I can do the same thing I just did if I wanted to, or I could make the arm look like it's flapping or something like that. But an even cooler thing I can do is if I click copy and then paste that in there again, I can make a whole nother arm. And let's say I wanted to make this arm seem like it might be attached to the cat's head and follow along with the cat, right? So I could go in here, go to transform, I could kind of rotate this so that it's sticking up like that, and keep my same hinge there, right? And put the sometimes I accidentally grab a mask on accident. So let's see, whenever that happens, make sure that you select the layer again and just start all over again, right? So if I wanted my if I wanted my arm there to look like it was gonna follow along the with the cat's head instead of the green ball, I could actually parent that arm to the cat head. So it's not that complicated a thing to do, really. So I just stick that there, and now as that head moves, you'll notice that the arm moves as well, right? So this is giving me a lot of options, because the cat's head is kind of subservient to the green ball. This arm is subservient to the green ball, but this arm is subservient to the head. So now if I went in there and did some more kind of weird work with rotation, I could like kind of really get some different kinds of things happening. So so this is gonna follow along the head, and as that head moves, that arm will follow with it. So you can parent lots of different things to each other, or just kind of have to keep in mind what the main thing is that you're trying to make move. So this poor Frankenstein cat, it's a little bit out of hand now, isn't it? But But that's Hinges and parenting, and it kind of helps you figure out how to make a puppet. Your puppet doesn't have to have arms and legs; it can just be a series of shapes that are all combined together in an abstract way. But this gives you the general gist of how like a composition like this might work, and how parenting can really help you like be efficient as you move your animation around.